Let's go. You're listening to Music NFT Radio. Let's get it, everyone. We have the Synth Heads coming in soon to talk about utility, talk about music NFTs. Definitely excited for this to have on a new special guest. So get ready to hear about something very cool. I've been reading about the Synth Heads, reading more about the project and the amazing utility that's being offered here. And it's really something that I've been talking about for a long time, right? Anyone who listens to Music NFT Radio or is in my community knows how important utility is to me with music NFTs. And connecting that music NFT to the artist and to the IRL experiences that artists can offer, as well as metaverse experiences and other unique utility, such as Music NFT Radio, which has become the ultimate utility for our community right here. So I'm very happy to have on the Synth Heads today to talk a little bit more about the project. I've personally been reading up, learning more, checking out their OpenSea. So that's a place to start if you want to look them up. Look up the OpenSea, and we're going to get some more information from the team. But I'm very excited to have on the Synth Heads today. I brought up also David Cash, who introduced me to the Synth Heads as well. Thanks for putting this together. And then we've got Chloe here from the Synth Heads. So how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming on in. Let's give everyone a minute or two to get up in here. We still got some people requesting up on the stage, but yeah, why don't you go ahead if you want to give an introduction on a little bit about the Synth Heads, like just a quick intro, and then we can kind of go around and have everyone introduce themselves as well.
Yeah, totally. So the Synth Head started off as a project that was born to Beatport, which is an electronic music DSP. I think many people who are into electronic music will know Beatport. For those that don't, essentially it's a home for DJs to be able to collect records that are, lossless quality MP3s or WAVs that they can play out in their sets. And so when the opportunity came to do an NFT project for Beatport, we kind of, took the time to really think about like what their main sort of value is to their community and, what their branding means and what their history is. And synth just seemed to make sense. And obviously with everything kind of shifting into the metaverse, having game ready assets and just cool looking assets overall just, made a lot of sense. And so, yeah, the synth heads were born. And now we're kind of like in a phase 2 of the project where we're releasing kind of like derivative projects. So our latest release has been Junction 2, which is a big UK festival in collaboration with Synth Heads. And it's a limited edition, essentially acting as like a ticket to the festival with additional perks and stuff. So yeah, that's like a very high level summary of the project.
Yeah, awesome, and I can't wait to get into it. Thank you for sending over a little summary for me. I was reading it and just realizing that we share a lot of the same vision for the future of music NFTs, right? It's all about connecting fans to these amazing experiences, as well as them feeling connected to the music through the ownership of these NFTs. So I'm really excited to get into that and talk about that a little more. I want to welcome everyone on the panel to Music NFT Radio. I see we brought up a couple more friends as well. So thanks for coming in. We're talking about music NFTs and utility. I'm also very excited to announce this is my first recorded interview on Music NFT Radio. So this is actually being screen recorded from the Crypto Rich account. So it can hear everything we're all saying. And then I'm going to list that on YouTube and maybe on podcast sites eventually as well. So this is the beginning of me turning this into actually something that's a recorded podcast as well. All of it is also...
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, it's big moves. I'm excited about it. Like, it's cool. So, because I've been doing these like every day, like all day. So there's a lot of content that's actually captured here on Twitter Spaces. You can see it's recorded. Actually, I also just had it rugged earlier today, but we had 127 hours straight on a space. So we just broke the record, longest space ever. This is a recorded room, so it will be up on YouTube afterwards and eventually on podcast sites. So very excited to have you in here, Synth Heads. And then why don't we just go around and talk to our speakers a little bit? Why don't we just start with David, since you introed me to the Synth Heads and put this together. Thank you for doing that. Why don't you give us a little intro? Are you there, David? Maybe it needs a minute. Do you want to go over to Bree?
Yeah, I'm here. He may be tweeting it out if I'm not mistaken. I know I was on the other side.
No worries. It happens. We'll go back to him.
But long time no see, and it's really cool to see friends here. So we're just doing a kind of brief intro as we go around the stage. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Just give a little introduction about who you are and what you do. You know, since we're here 24/7, so we just brought up some new speakers. I want to give everyone a chance to say what's up, introduce yourself, and then we'll go into talking about the synth heads and more about what's coming up.
I love that. Yeah. So my long-term career background actually is an event planner for over 15 years and got into Web3 2021, and a majority of my time has actually been doing that, and then now going into NFT events. I'm on the Stardust Generation NFT team. I work with Minify and recently joined Alien Friends, actually, which is really exciting. And then just being here surrounded by friends and being able to support, emerging projects and, pioneers in the space is really what I wake up for every day. So thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to this stuff.
Amazing. Yeah. Bree, it's great to see you. I know we both just been hustling, and so it's good to see some of the friends still around. You know, everyone's still here doing their thing. Great to have you in here. Yeah, I was happy when I saw your name on the list. And then also we have a journalist here, Skid Row Crypto. How's it going?
Hello, good afternoon. It's going great. Thanks for having me. It's actually my first time in your room. I've seen you in a lot of Twitter spaces still, but this is my first time here. So it was kind of cool to kind of hear this kind of real-time radio show slash demo space. I guess that's how I would describe it. So thanks for having me. I was nominated for Best Written Coverage of NFTs last year in New York, and I'll be speaking at NFT NYC this year. And I've come to the conclusion that if I stick around in enough of these rooms and hear enough of these interviews, then I have all of my subject matter for my articles that I need. So I don't have to frantically sort of look for stories as often as I used to. I can kind of hang out in the community more, and they just happen.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming in. I want to give you a welcome to Music NFT Radio. Retweet the room. That's right, everyone. We got a special guest on the show today, special interview with the Synth Head. So make sure to retweet the room. This is Music NFT Radio. We play music NFTs, Web3 music 24/7. Today is day 65. We do this all day, every day. Come in and hang out every time. We love to have people from the community and projects that are absolutely crushing it, creators and communities that are doing amazing things for music in the NFT space and Web3. So we have the Synth Heads today. I want to give David a chance, if you're there, if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll go to the Synth Heads account, and then we can get into it. All right, David might be busy right now. Let's go to Synth Heads. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, how's it going? This is Mellow Mike, community manager for the Synth Heads. Working this side of the account. As far as the background, I kind of started in the NFT space with Chloe, actually, straight out of college. I had an internship over at Dead Mouse's label, 720. And then afterwards, I made my way over to Beatport. And now we're doing some crazy things over in the Synth Heads.
That's awesome. Well, excited to have you all here today. We got a great panel, people who really know their stuff. So I think what we're going to do is just talk a little bit more about synth heads, get into the details, then we'll have some time for Q&A. And then, of course, hang around and we'll keep playing music. You're welcome to stay up here on stage. You know, we'll play music. We can take some requests if anyone has. And synth heads, if you do want to give me a song to pull up at some point towards the end, or some records that you want me to play, I can do that. Everything's studio quality coming directly into Twitter Spaces, so we can play some of the music. We prefer Spotify if it's available there, but if you need me to pull it up on OpenSea or something like that, I can do that too. So just letting you know so you can be ready for that. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna look at some of what you sent over, and also I was checking out the OpenSea. So I recommend everyone to check out the OpenSea, check out the website. Some pretty impressive stats. You know, music NFTs are very new, so it's tough to get these collectors. You know, it's tough to get the volume early on, but Synthead seems to have done a pretty great job with that. Let's see. I was just looking at it earlier. I think you have over 1,000 collectors over there on OpenSea. That's pretty impressive. Over 300 ETH volumes. So go check it out. Check out some of the artwork too. It's really cool. And so when we get into it, I think what Synth Heads is heavily about is the utility. And so the J2 Synth Head collection was born from a partnership between electronic music industry leader Beatport, of course, and the legendary techno festival Junction 2 in the UK. So this is, of course, a unique generative art, which I was just saying you should go check it out on OpenSea. It's definitely cool artwork. And the utility includes the tickets to the festival and exclusive experiences that are only available to holders. This, to me, is what music NFTs are all about. Right? A music NFT is more than just music on the blockchain. It's a direct connection to the artist, and it should be a direct connection to the products that artists already sells, right? The same products music fans already love, such as access to music festivals, exclusive experiences like meet and greets, t-shirts, right? Merchandise, vinyls, right? And so when I looked at this information about Synthead, I saw all of these things. And that's exactly what I believe is the future of music NFTs. So it includes access to all different stuffs. I want to hear more from the Syntheads team, right? I'll let you kind of take it from here so you can break down what the individual Syntheads get, and you know, kind of the connection to the other collection, because I know there's some details there. So I want to let you get into that a little bit.
Fun. Okay. Mellow Mike, do you want to take it from here or you want me to get into it?
I could run through the utility. We can go down like a breakdown of the collection, tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, all right. Go off, King.
Sure. So with the J2 collection, it's a limited release of 300 synth heads. We're selling 250 of them, and then we had 30, which is 10% of the collection. We airdropped those, or we're going to airdrop those. We already completed the raffle for current OG Synthead holders, so a little incentive to be a part of the OG Synthead community. But yeah, so we have 300 Syntheads, and all 300 get a one-day festival pass to Junction 2, queue jumping at the festival, all merch, t-shirts, exclusive vinyl and merch drops, future NFT whitelist when we do these kinds of activations in the future. This is just the first of many that we're going to go down the line. And we're having a bunch of dedicated channels in our Discord server, and that's for all 300 of the synth heads. Then we're getting into more of a rarity structure. So within that 300, we have 4 super rares, and those 4 super rare J2 synth heads get all the benefits that I just listed previously. A 2-day festival pass. So instead of the 1 day that the normal 300 Synth Head get. These 4 get 2-day festival pass, artist bar access. So what if you're looking forward to seeing an artist, one of your favorite artists at the festival, you'll be able to go to the artist bar, hang out, talk with them, get a drink, all that fun stuff. And then we also have Junction 2 Inner City Club tickets, if you're familiar with that venue. That will also come with these 4 super rare synth heads. And then you'll also be receiving a high quality print of the synth head. So whichever one that you get, you'll get a high quality print of that in the mail, and we'll facilitate that and make that happen. And then after that, we have the ultra rare. So there's 1 ultra rare in the collection, and that ultra rare will get lifetime access to plus 1 person. So you and a guest will have lifetime access to the Junction 2 festival forever. As long as Junction 2 is doing it, you'll be able to go there forever for free with 1 other person. And then everything that I mentioned previously. So that's kind of the rarity structure that we have going on with the J2 collection.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the way that it's broken down. I think having these different tiers with different levels of access is important. But I also like how the first tier still gets a lot of really cool stuff, right? And then from there, it's like, if you get the rare item, it's going to be just that much cooler. So I think one thing we should go into is like some background about Junction 2 and, Beatport as well, for anyone who doesn't know. I mean, I've definitely heard of Beatport. I'm not really familiar with Junction 2. I'm here in the U.S., so maybe just a breakdown of that stuff and sort of lay out what the experience might be like for everyone.
Sure. Yeah. So Beatport is, I think I mentioned in the beginning, an electronic music DSP. So essentially, you go and you can purchase records online for DJing, or if you just want to have, again, this lossless quality music in your collection. And they also do a lot of other things too. Like Beatport has, over the years, kind of created almost like a, its own community of, fans, super fans, music collectors, crate diggers, as they call them. And of that was like born a almost like event mindset of being able to take the Beatport, I guess, brand into different venues and festivals. And that's kind of how this project came about, was that there was already a relationship with Junction 2, which I'll get into in a second. But basically the idea of combining the NFT structure from the previous collection, or from the OG collection, as we call it, with the festival, it just felt like the natural next step. And like, obviously everything that we want to do in the space is like, we want to make sure that we're really purposeful in all of our actions, and everything that we do holds value for, again, the original sort of fans and super fans and collectors, but then also like brings in new members of the community in a meaningful way. So again, just felt like a natural next step. So going into Junction 2, Junction 2 is a music festival that started, geez, I don't even know how many years ago, but I was there, I think it was 2019, like just before the pandemic hit. And basically, the way that they're set up, they usually have multiple different stages with all ranges of different techno, house, disco, tech house artists. And there's always something for everyone. And I think Junction 2 is like such a special festival because it's really about like diversity, but also like inclusivity. And I think, overall, not that I want to play favorites, but it's probably one of the best music festivals I've ever been to in the UK, or at least I would say in Western Europe as well. So I think that it's really special that Beatport, which is, again, such a massive brand for electronic music, has partnered with a massive festival such as Junction 2. So that gives you a little bit of insight.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's some great info. So, I mean, can you give a little bit more info, like the size of the festival, like some of the artists that might be playing, like maybe
Totally.
like that?
Yeah. I was trying to post a picture of the lineup on Twitter. Maybe I can share that with you right now, and then that way
Yeah.
you can pin it and for everyone to look at.
Yeah, you can also pin it up at the top. If you go to the actual tweet, and then in the bottom right where you like share it to a DM, all the way at the top it should say the name of this room, and then it'll pin.
Oh, okay.
So
Clearly,
yeah.
I know how to use Twitter Spaces, guys.
It's all good. Yeah, so if you want to do that, or you can send it in the group and I can pin it if you're having some trouble there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
definitely pin
think I
it
did
up
it.
top because, for me, I also think it's like knowing a little bit about the experience, like what's it going to be like when you go there and stuff like that. That's what gets me excited, right? And I think that's super cool because people are used to NFTs that are just, the picture of a zoo animal and access to a community, and maybe
Yeah.
the top couple ones have done some events. But I really think the future for music NFTs is including all these different types of events and including these different types of rarities where you might get access to some exclusive experience that you've never been able to have before, right? So like maybe
Yeah.
that's what I would love is like maybe you could walk me through like what is it going to be like if you get this VIP access, what could it be like if you get this +1 access? Is that like a meet and greet going into the show, hanging backstage? Like, I would love to hear, just some ideas of what special utility you can get as a holder.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, I think, the best example I can give of like what's to come for Junction 2 is like actually an experience that happened with the original Synth Heads collection. So, very recently, and I'm not sure how many electronic music fans there are in the room. I mean, maybe throw a little hand or high five up in the emoji so I can see. But basically, with the OG Synth Head collection, what we did was for IMS this year, which is the International Music Summit that happens in Ibiza. We actually held a DJ competition for our synth heads, and basically the synth heads, the one that won got to open for Blondish and got flown out to Ibiza, literally to open for Blondish at a major nightclub. So it's the things like that where we want to like bring experiences for holders, not just like, oh, you're gonna potentially meet this person, but you could potentially be showing off your music skill or your music talent, because that's what this is all about, right? It's about music, it's about experiences, it's about specifically in this case I think electronic music, but I think synths have been used across all types of genres. So maybe we look to expand out further for next opportunities, right? So
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, and that's good to know too that, it's not a brand new thing. It's something that you're already doing. And I think that's what makes a strong NFT too. It's like connected to something that's already a reality, that's already being built, right? And so that's kind of how I see a lot of these music festival and music artist related NFTs coming into the space. So
totally.
let's talk a little bit more about like the mint, the details, right? Where what you want people to know, where to focus on,
Yeah,
the dates that are important. And
totally.
then I have a couple questions here and then we can go into like audience Q&A. So if anyone's listening in and you have questions about the music fest, about electronic music NFTs in general, you want to come up and ask a question, start thinking of that now. We're going to have a time for everyone to get a chance to ask a few questions.
Yeah, yeah. So gosh, synth heads. There's so many things.
Yeah, no,
Mellow
I
Mike.
start with like the mint details. I know there's
Yeah.
300 supply.
Yes.
You can
So
talk.
300 supply. We had 50 in reserve, 30 were airdropped or going to be airdropped to the existing community. The remaining 20 in the reserve are for, marketing, gifting, etc. for the team. And then yeah, we have 250 minting right now. The mint price is 0.15, and basically we were kind of like in a toss up about the mint price for a little while, which I'm sure many of you guys, if you're in NFTs or have been in NFTs for a while, know that it can be kind of a tricky one with pricing, especially right now in a bear market. And so we kind of like thought about it in this way where it's like, okay, well, how much would people typically pay for a ticket and like the experience of going to a festival? And then like what additional things are they getting with that, right? So it was kind of like mapping out the costs, mapping out what else we're going to bring to the table, because even though the festival is coming up in a couple of weeks, like there's always going to be Junction 2s that come years and years past, and there will be ways to kind of reinvigorate the collection throughout the years and throughout all the other events that Junction 2 will create. So basically the plan for them right now is that there's this festival that happens June 18th and June 19th in London, and then there's going to be another event that happens at Tobacco Dock in London, which is also another legendary dance venue. It's insane. If any of you in the chat have ever been, you'll know that, you know, it's an iconic spot. But yeah, so they'll be doing another event there, which will try and unlock some more utility there. And then there's going to be some, I think what Mellow Mike mentioned, inner city events. So it's going to be a venue inside of London towards the end of the year where, again, you know, holders will either get access or, you know, exclusive access to specific, you know, tiers or whatever it might be. And then we'll be back again to the festival again next year. So it's like these events are not like one and dones. It's like we're really trying to build out and grow a community around all of these events via the Synth Heads. So, you know, you think about Junction 2 being the first one, and we're going to do potentially, I think, one other one in Europe this summer, and then one in the States towards the end of the year. And then again next year we'll keep kind of like transplanting the idea across different festivals, you know, things that are happening in Miami and things that will happen in New York. And, you know, I think a lot of the hurdles that we've experienced is obviously not knowing where everyone on crypto Twitter lives, because everything obviously is, you know, self-sovereign, and, you know, data collection's not really a thing. So it's trying to like map out like how do we reach everyone in the right spots and making sure that they're aware of the opportunity to be able to be a part of this community. And then also, like, in addition, making sure that everyone understands the kind of utility that we're putting in behind these NFTs. I think, you know, I can't speak for everyone here, but I've seen a lot of music NFTs in recent months with just like that hold no value, and not like from a monetary standpoint, but just like, you know, it's a track, it's a record. Okay, that's great. But like, then what? You know, like what can you do with that? And I feel like, you know, elevating things in the NFT space involves, you know, bringing additional, you know, exclusive access or collectability, you know, features and stuff. So, I mean, it's an exciting time to be in the space for sure, because everyone's building and everyone's figuring it out. And we're just hopeful that, you know, everyone is going to join into the project and be able to help us build it out even further.
Yeah, well, let me tell you one thing. If anyone knows where all the music people NFT live on Twitter, that would be me. I have an amazing community with about 3,000 artists, most of them music NFT artists. We're getting nearly 10K unique people coming in here every day. And I've been connected to most of the music NFT artists in the space. So that's exactly what I offer through my community and through Music NFT Radio. So you've come to the right place. I'm excited about what you're doing. I think it's definitely going in the right direction in terms of what we need to push music NFTs forward. So definitely excited to have you here today, to have this interview, also to do more in the future, right? Because I think it is important to connect with the artists who are actually out here selling NFTs. The best simple advice I can give you is follow the wallets. The active wallets, the number of collectors is what's so important in Web3. Right? In Web 2, it's all like people follow number of followers or whatever. But in Web 3, you know, 1,000 collectors is more valuable than, you know, 1,000,000 followers probably in some cases, right?
Totally.
So it's like you got it's like a different landscape. But that's exactly what we do in my community. So make sure you hop in over there. Like, I'm happy to, you know, get you more situated over in my Discord and stuff, so we can talk about that as well. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about some of the questions that we have listed here, and then we can go into some, you know, feedback from our other speakers and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do it. The first thing is that I see the first day of Junction 2 is sold out, right? And so is the only way to get access to this, or is this a way that you can get access to that now through NFTs?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we have an allotment of tickets for the Junction 2 Synth Head holders. So if you want to attend this festival on day one, the only way you're going to be able to get a ticket or technically get access would be via this NFT, unless you want to risk it and try and get a resale ticket. But I mean, we all know how that can go down sometimes. So
Yeah, that is really, really cool. And I like that. And I haven't even really thought of that playing out in real life. But mine works the same way too, because it's like most of my NFTs that are getting free access are guest list based, right? So it's like I'll reserve a few spots for my collectors. And so, yeah, on a sold out show, sometimes I guess the NFT is the way that you get access. So that's really cool. I also like, I think it's early, but in the future, I think people will start to see the value of this stuff even more as it becomes more ubiquitous and people actually understand how to use the tech. Now you have a barrier, right? Someone might want a ticket to day one, but they don't understand NFTs enough to figure out how to do this and get involved.
totally.
But I think
Yeah.
in the future, that's where we're headed, right? So it's that
Yeah.
part's cool.
Yeah, we actually, a lot of what we do, no matter what project it is, like with synth heads or with dead mouse or anyone, we always make sure to give enough educational information about how to get a wallet, like what it means to own an NFT, like all of the basic stuff, because we never want to like force or advise people to buy things without having done at least some sort of research. And even if it's like just sending someone who's asking questions like some resources to read up on, like we feel so much more comfortable and confident going that route, because we're not trying to bring people into the space just to spend money. Like we want to bring people into the space so that they're joining something that's become much bigger than I think any of us have ever imagined it would be, and also have them become contributors to the community as well, right? So I think it's really key to have that educational portion with any sale that you do in NFTs.
Yeah, it's dope. I mean, I think that's really cool. So everyone make sure to go check out J2synthheads.com where you can mint the J2 Synth Heads. Check out the mint page. It's looking pretty good. It gives you all this cool utility. So I personally think that this is the future of where we're headed. Utility and hard value backed NFTs like we're building here. It's the same thing that I'm building in my community. I've done a show with Wu-Tang Clan and Waka Flocka where I opened for Ghostface Killah in Atlantic City. I had a private VIP yacht party in Miami. I performed at NFT NYC last year. And this year I'm performing at Webstock. We're creating a music festival DAO, and it would be really interesting to connect you with Webstock as well. What we're doing over there is really cool. And I think there's so many synergies, like you were saying, with the expanding and taking this to the next level. That's exactly what we're trying to do over there. So I think these ideas are starting to come up, and there's going to be so many of them. I just think about how many music festivals there are, right? There might be thousands. So, I mean, I think that's going to be really bullish for the future as people start to realize that these types of collections that get you access to things, how valuable they are, right? And you don't need the biggest community ever. You need people that actually want to use that value and understand the value. So yeah, anyway, I want to give some time for our other speakers who have been listening in to give some feedback and to talk a little bit, and then we'll get some questions going for the Synth Heads team. And so yeah, if anyone wants to go ahead, Bree or journalist or David.
Hey, good afternoon. This is journalist. I won't be long because I know a lot of people have a lot to say. Sounds like a really interesting, exciting, you know, thought kind of a forward-thinking project. Pretty awesome. I just wanted to kind of hone in myself, just kind of on this idea of social tribes and how Web3 is forming social tribes, and it's essentially what I see happening here. And I think this is where NFTs are going, kind of in the second kind of big wave or understanding of how they can be used. And I think that they're going to change the world in a lot of ways, and we're in the early iterations. But after kind of this whole PFP movement and all of the one of one art into these collections, It's now about community and belonging and like minds and experiences and really kind of improving your quality of life. And I think, that can't be said enough when it comes to a project like this, even when you're looking at kind of what you're getting value-wise on its face.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what's so cool too. You can have your smaller sort of group. It's like you're 1,000 true fans, as they say in the music industry all the time, right? And you can have that smaller audience or just your core group of people that support you all the way.
100%. Really well said, guys.
Yeah, Bree, if you want to go ahead, Chloe, if that's all.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm sure you have other hands up. I had to finish at my chips and salsa. I'm looking down on a very belated lunch here. This is this has been really cool, and Dill, I'm glad how you kind of mentioned about how many music festivals there are. I think that this is just such a great time to really lay foundation for the opportunities and what this technology makes possible. And I think you guys are really an exemplary, like an example of exactly how to do that. It definitely aligns with, Dill, and I know your mission in the space as well. So I couldn't think of a more perfect pairing today. But I'm curious, as you guys are really revolutionizing the space and trying to clearly, pack as much utility as possible with this technology, looking ahead, if you're able to, share, what do you guys see as kind of more, long-term future, like 6 months out from now, even a year out from now? Like, what would your ideal, music and Web3, experience be?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's something that we obviously think about and talk about all the time. Is like, one of the things that I've been tasked with in my job is always to think like 3 years out. So, where do you guys think we're going to be in 3 years? I personally, have no idea. I think, the timeline of every project, technology keeps changing rapidly. So I would imagine for this project specifically, 6 to 12 months from now, ideally we would have a space probably in a metaverse game, so that when there are these live events and festivals that are happening, if people can't actually access them in the physical world, they'll be able to access the replica in a digital fashion, which I think is something that is already starting to happen in a very small capacity with a lot of different products and PFP communities. But I really want to, see it being taken to the next level. And I think we're getting there. Again, coming back to like the timeline of product and tech, we're seeing things go so quickly now, even with like the Oculus headsets and, the Google lenses and the Apple lenses. Everything is being bumped up because I think everyone in the corporate world is starting to understand that, everyone really wants to be in the metaverse. Everyone wants to really be full tilt into Web3, and they're now starting to catch up, and it's benefiting us really, in the sense that we'll be able to use all of these tools and these programs much sooner, and we can start kind of building them into our pipelines for production. So I think that's one thing. Another thing that we've discussed like at length as like a team is, obviously having some sort of festival that is just unique to Synth Heads. So, the Synth Head Festival, kind of similar to how Apes are doing like an Ape Fest this year. I think that that's hugely on the roadmap. I don't know if it's in the next 6 months, maybe closer to 12 months. But once we start to see, more and more collectors and more of these like sub communities come forward, I think we'll be able to map out, what is it that everyone wants to see out of a festival? What's the lineup look like? Is it the synth heads that are going to be playing the lineup? It becomes very, very community driven, and we kind of take our hands off the wheel at that point and let everyone decide. So I guess the next step into that would be sort of a DAO setup, which again, it takes time to set up a proper DAO. I don't want to like rush into that. And I've seen a lot of projects kind of jump into the DAO space, not really fully understanding what that means. So I think, again, once we've kind of got our handle on, the J2 collection being sold out, and then, the next festival coming in, I think the DAO conversations will become a lot more real. And then I guess the last thing I could see in the next 6 to 12 months, and something that we've been working on since the beginning of this project, is really around the narrative of these synth heads. The concept is that they are, the synths that their masters or their producers, have left kind of in the dark or in the dust, and at night they come alive, and you can be essentially the synth head that is, part of the digital world, but also part of the physical, creating, community through sound. And it becomes really about a story. And I think, our focus with the story is, of course, maybe there's going to be a comic book, maybe there's going to be, some other entertainment value created. I can't really divulge too much into that, but I'm sure you guys have creative minds and kind of get where we're going with that. But I think it will probably be, again, in the 6 to 12 months coming. So I hope that kind of gives you a appropriate breakdown of at least the next year. I think if we're talking, the next 3 years, I could probably, get a little bit more into it, but I think that's probably sufficient for now, not to overload you all.
No, it's great. And I do have to point out, I appreciate you being conscious of how fast this space moves. A minute feels like an hour, and an hour that you miss out on feels like a week, and a week a year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I think the fact that you guys are paying such close attention and, just leaving a little bit of room for those changes that can happen so drastically, definitely gives me a lot of confidence in what you guys are doing. So I'm really excited to see what's next. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I totally agree about the metaverse. Like, I think there's going to be such a big business just creating IRL spaces in the metaverse. Like, just being the person who models an IRL space and recreates it in the metaverse. Like, I feel like every music festival would want to have that. Like, every club would want to have that. Like, imagine going to a metaverse club, and then when you go to that club IRL in the city, you already know where the bar is. You already know where, like, the bathroom is because you've been there in the metaverse or something. So I think that is really cool. That definitely gets me thinking. I'm big on the metaverse as well. I have a bunch of partners with venues in the metaverse. One thing we do for our partners is set up showcases in the metaverse. We can connect you to different communities and stuff like that. So that's a big part of what we do as well. It's kind of like hustle, like touring around, doing different metaverse shows, getting on different metaverse stages. Because every time you do that, you get in front of a new community. And a lot of them have a bunch of collectors and people that are active in NFTs, right? So that's been really helpful for me in expanding my community is, doing different metaverse shows, helping to put together different types of showcases and stuff like that, right? So that's a big part of it. And then also, of course, thank you for coming on radio. I mean, I think this is awesome. We're happy to have you on here anytime. It's about coming back and making a presence in the community, but we're excited about what you got going on. I think it's really cool. The mint is really interesting. So definitely keep coming back. And now I want to open it up to anyone if you have any questions. Or Chloe, I saw you on mic if you want to respond something there.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you. Like, it's really nice to find these communities, because you only ever see what you're following on Twitter or whatever it might be, right? And it's sometimes you don't see everything. And I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I've just seen so many projects lately that feel really pump and dumpy and like really scammy. And I just, I get excited by people who are into things based on like what the project's actually committing to bringing to the table. And I just, I'm very appreciative of you guys taking the time to, to chat and, share the project and get excited with us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're happy to have you here. I think it's a great fit for what you're doing too. I was surprised to learn about the project and learn about all the cool stuff you're doing. It's like every day in this space you see something cool that you didn't know about. So I'm feeling the same way about what you've built and everything you've done in the NFT space already, and excited to see where it goes. And I want to invite anyone up if you have a question, if you're in the audience or if you're on the stage as a speaker. Feel free to ask a question. I'm not sure who's here. Steve probably is busy. Music NFTs, NFM. I don't know if you're there. If you have any questions.
I'm here.
Oh, nice, great. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Thank you,
Uh,
Synth, for coming up, man. You guys sound
yeah,
awesome. I really dig
NFM
it.
is one of our VIP partners. I just wanted to give you credit. He's one of our biggest supporters, VIP partners. We've been helping NFM with their platform, and so yeah, thanks for listening, man. Go ahead if you have any feedback, questions, go for it.
I actually have one, probably the stupidest question in the world because I've been so entranced in working on the project. But what are PFPs?
This in general, but it stands for Profile Picture Project. So it's like any
Yeah.
NFT that's
Oh,
designed to be a profile picture.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
so
cool.
mine is an example of that. I
I
do.
see. Okay.
Yeah. And
Sorry, yeah,
no such thing as stupid questions. Come on.
I hadn't heard that term since I don't think I've ever heard it. It's like it's a new thing, right? Or am I wrong?
No, that's how you know
Um
you're really deep in music NFTs. Say that.
I'll tell you right now, I'm sure there's people in the audience who are wondering the same thing. So I'm glad you asked it.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
good.
The PFP trend kind of started with CryptoPunks, and I think from there people just really started to evolve it. Obviously, the Bored Apes as well. So that's the kind of, I think, general idea with them is that they're not just, a token, but they're also like a sense of identity, right? It's a community that you can affiliate with in terms of, all around feel, look, and then also, I guess, whatever the project provides from a utility standpoint.
Yeah, I dig some of them, man. I really do. I like the crypto punks the best, probably back when they first came out. But they've come a long way. There's like some really, really, really fantastic artists out there, you know,
Totally.
and it's just amazing to see you know, the talent that is drawing these, PFPs. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, 100%.
for sure, man. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, if anyone else has any questions about the synth heads are pretty dope. PFPs as well. Check them out. If anyone has questions, come on up. I see Odrar ETH is requesting up. If you want to ask a question about synth heads, we're talking about that right now. Oh, this is a synth head. There we go. Great PFP. Here we go right now.
Hey,
Ojar,
what's
how's
up,
it
guys? I was muted. Sorry. I was gonna say thanks to Mellow Mike. He's always on the Discord, always active and everything, and just want to thank him for that. And also, I got a question. Do any of the OG syntheads are we getting some type of merch as the ones that the Junction 2 are getting, like T-shirts or something? Do you have that plan eventually?
Yeah, 100%. There's going to be loads of merch available for the OG synth heads as well as the J2 synth heads. I think we're just kind of doing everything in like a phased approach right now. So, in terms of like when the merch is going to come for the OG collection, it's probably again in like the 6 months sort of span. I think we're just trying to work out like what's the best way to get merch to everyone that's kind of globally. That's why with the J2 festival it's a little bit easier because we know everyone's going to be at the festival in the UK, so we can actually give the merch at the festival, if that makes sense. So, with crypto Twitter, crypto everything, everyone's all over the place, right? So it's kind of hard to map out where everyone lives to send merch to, but we'll figure it out. That's definitely in the plan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll be like I'm always on festivals. I live here in Orlando, so it'll be great to have like a T-shirt from my center or a cap or something from my
For
center.
sure.
Yeah,
I think we're definitely gonna do prints. We're definitely gonna do hats, and we'll definitely do T-shirts and probably hoodies. I'm not sure which order. I feel like prints probably make sense first, but if you're in Orlando, then definitely we'll have a presence in Miami in March this coming year. So
thank you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. For my merch stuff, it's probably going to be by claiming. They'll have to claim it within a certain window, and then we'll fulfill it. And that's probably
Yeah,
how it's going to work. And
yeah,
I expect that not everyone will claim it. I think, some people just might not. But I'm trying to do it through a Shopify integration.
yeah. There's a lot of really great tools. It seems like that have been popping up. Like, I mean, Shopify is great. You still have to pay obviously for shipping and handling and stuff, but I think just trying to figure out like the most frictionless way for people, and even not everyone's going to want to claim it or know to claim it, and just making sure that people who don't know are made aware, right? And that's again coming into the whole educational point of it, and making sure people are up to date with the latest news for the project, which Discord does a great job of that, being able to like communicate directly with the community. Twitter too, but I think we can all attest to having information overload sometimes, and just wanting to shut everything off. And in those periods of shutting everything off, things get missed, and then you feel like you're kind of FOMOing, or you're missing out. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, you gotta try to let everyone know. That is the challenge, and that's why you can collect everyone's data on the blockchain, but it is a different story about getting in touch with them actually when you need to.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, you just got to try to have all channels. I try to stay active in Discord and that kind of stuff. Keep the updates rolling over there. But yeah, I feel you. I mean, there's probably going to be better and better ways to stay in touch. Seems like Discord is the way right now. So
Dill, I got a few really good .eth addresses. I think I got I know I got NFM radio.eth, NFM studio.eth. I know I have some music NFT radio.eth. I think I have too. So we could probably set up one of those. This way it's easier to
I have
find.
NFTradio.eth. Hold on, man. We're finishing up this interview with the Synth Heads team, bud. So I wanted to open it up for questions. Like, Stefan, you have a question about Synth Head?
Um, I think so. I'm not really sure because I was like kind of like listening in and out, but I kind of heard the part about the IRA. I'm not really sure who was like leading that and like how you guys wanted to kind of join that with like the metaverse, like the whole like meta IRA. Like I'm definitely big idea, and somebody actually like recently came to me with like an opportunity, with like a space. So like if you guys are like interested and want to try to set something up, definitely so I can like get more information because I'm really like hearing too well, and then that way I can like kind of see if it's fit, 'cause then it's just like that's already there. If it's like if it works out, and then yeah, definitely on board.
Cool. Yeah, your mic's a little choppy, but I think I got the gist of what you're saying. But that's definitely connect. Send me a DM, and we'll explore it a little bit more.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I wanted to ask the Synth Heads team, is there anything else that in particular that you wanted to cover before we finish up? I definitely want you to go over the mint details again and tell people how they should tap in and any important dates to look out for, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if there's anything else you want to cover before that we might have missed, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, well, Mellow Mike, maybe you can jump in as well. But, the main thing is that like we really want to redefine what utility means for music NFTs. And, I think naturally the the tech space is pivoting and gearing towards electronic music, because I think that just kind of feels almost synergistic. And I think, Junction 2 is an amazing festival. And even, if it's more of like a, well, I can't go this year, but I can go next year, I feel like there is room for like, being able to shift things around for those people who maybe can't come this year, because of course it's only a few weeks away. So I just don't want that to deter people from not getting involved with getting an NFT. So yeah, I think, get involved, get an NFT, get a synth head, join the community, join our Discord. There's a lot of really exciting opportunities, outside of just like the festival partnerships that we're doing. And, we'd love to get more people that are involved in the music NFT space to come and join us and also, contribute to the community, because we can only grow so much at a time. And I think, having moments like this where we're able to connect with, awesome people like yourselves, just helps grow that even further.
Yeah, everyone, make sure you're following the Synth Heads account. Make sure you follow all of our speakers up here, especially Chloe and Bree and journalists who came on for this special talk with Synth Heads. This is awesome. I love introducing exciting new projects to the community. It's always great. It gives a little perspective. I think we're super aligned on the vision for utility as well. And this right here, Music NFT Radio, is one of the biggest pieces of utility for my community. So definitely let's talk about how we could partner further, get you more involved. We can talk about that in the call or something like that. And I also want you to just give everyone the mint details again, the website, tell them to go check it out, and tell them how to join the community.
Totally, yeah. So we are still minting. The link is j2synthheads.com. The mint price is 0.15 ETH, of course. And yeah, I think, once you've gotten your mint, we're going to be doing a reveal probably in the next day or two. And we're going to host a big Twitter Spaces for the reveal and get everyone who's involved in the project up on the Twitter Spaces as well. So we'll continue to do these community events. And then obviously the festival is the 18th and 19th of June. So, if you're interested, definitely now is the time to get involved. And again, if you're not sure about being able to attend this year, you still want to get involved in the project for next year, please, don't let that deter you. Definitely still mint, and hit me up if you have questions about the project, and also join our Discord. Synth Heads is in the chat here. If you click through to that profile, you'll be able to find all the important links.
Hey, if you guys are into doing the concert thing, I just spoke with what's their name? They were just on the other day. Where they at? Superfest. I was just talking with them, and they're actually the founders of Bonnaroo, and they work with Outside Lands.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. We'll
So
definitely have to chat.
that would be a cool, that'd be a good hookup to maybe talk to them.
For sure. Yeah, I'll definitely DM you after.
All right, cool.
Yeah, awesome. Well, if anyone else has anything they want to add, go ahead. For the Synth Heads, this was awesome to have you in here today. It's recorded too. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to upload it. It's screen recorded from the Crypto Rich account. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to come out, but it should be dope. I think it'll sound good, and it'll be able to be put on a podcast pretty readily too. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. I'll send the clip when that's posted. I should be just putting it up right after this. But this was really awesome. Also, if you do have any music you want me to play, I want to bring that opportunity forward. The easiest thing would be if it's on Spotify, but if not, I can pull it up on OpenSea or something. Is there somewhere I can pull up something to play?
Yeah, sure. Why don't I send you something right now? I'll send you something from one of the Junction 2 artists. I think that would probably be the most fitting,
Yeah.
right?
Do you have like on OpenSea? Should I play one of the NFTs? Is that a good thing to do?
No, I can play. I can send you a Spotify link right now. I'll send it to you. One sec.
I'm also pulling up the Synth Heads OpenSea. Let's see. Is there music on them, or it's just the PFP? Okay.
They're just the PFP, yeah. But let me send you this right now. Hang on a sec. I got the link.
You can tell me the artist name.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I've got the link already. I'm quick.
Yeah, what's the artist name and song?
You said Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I've just. Oh shit! Hang on, I didn't copy the right link. Give me a sec. I'm sending it to you on DM. Here we go. One sec. There you go. This is Fortet. He's an artist that's headlining at Junction 2. He's amazing. Really great vibes. Electronic music, electro. I think you guys will like it.
Awesome. Let's go. This is Fortet on Music NFT Radio. Let's hear it. Playing at Junction 2. Get your synth head. Thanks for coming on, synth heads.
Awesome.